Good morning, Year 1. Happy Friday. We are going to continue writing our instructions for how to make a disgusting smoothie. Today is the last day of writing our instructions for our smoothie, which means that we are writing our key tips today. And also, very exciting news, on Monday we'll be starting our new story. Our do now. I need your help to edit my sentence. This is my key tips for my disgusting sandwich. Let's all read along together. Remember, you must wear goggles and hold your breath whilst making the disgusting sandwich. Using your writing checklist, you are going to spot my 3 mistakes in my sentence. Pause the video and find those 3 mistakes. Have you spotted those 3 mistakes? Well done. Let's use our writing checklist to help us find them. Okay, let's look for capital letters. Where do we need capital letters? At the start of our sentence. And we also need them if for a name or a place. Okay, remember, should have a capital letter. It does. Fantastic. This is the start of our sentence. You must. Should you have a capital letter? It should. What letter needs to be capital? The Y, the O, or the U? Well done. Our Y needs to be a capital Y, so we're going to change that. Notice how your capital letters are always taller than the rest. Should anything else have a capital letter in the sentence? No. Have you spotted something? What word has a capital letter, but it shouldn't? Great spot. Goggles has a capital letter. Now, is goggles at the start of our sentence? No. Is it someone's name? Is it a place or a country? No. So it doesn't need a capital letter. So we're going to make this capital G into a lowercase g. Well done. Now, let's use our writing checklist. What's next? Full stops. Where should our full stops go? Correct, at the end of our sentence. So let's look to the end of our sentence and let's see if we can find a full stop. After sandwich, should there be a full stop? Yeah, and there is no full stop after sandwich, so let's add in our full stop. Does my full stop look like this? No. Does my full stop look like this? No. When you have a full stop, can you make sure your full stop is just a dot at the end and it's on the line? We don't need to scribble when we do our full stops. Do we have finger spaces between each of our words? Let's check. I can see finger spaces between each of my words. Fantastic. Are my letters on the line? Not floating above, not dangling down below. Are they on the line? Yes, all my letters are on the line. I don't have any floating letters. Fantastic. Thank you for helping me. Now today, we are writing our tip. We've written our hook, which drew the reader in. We wrote what you will need. We wrote all those disgusting ingredients and all those dirty and used equipment that we're going to use. We spent 2 days writing our method, writing those 8 steps to make our smoothie. Now it's for our tip for our disgusting smoothie. When writing our tip, we need to use the conjunction and, because we haven't got just one tip, we have 2 tips. And when you want to put two sentences together, we can use conjunctions. Can we say conjunction? Louder, conjunction. Our conjunction we're focusing today is and, but there are other conjunctions we can use, like but, because, when, so, then. And when you use these conjunctions in a sentence, they let you add more detail. If you want to describe something a bit more, if you wanted to explain, or there was something else you wanted to say, you can put a conjunction in the middle and then you can add more. So today we're focusing on our conjunction add, so we can add more detail to our sentence and so that we can add another key tip. Our task is, we're really good at using our conjunction and, so now I need you to put them in these sentences. I will read the sentence to you, then you will pause the video and you can write in where the and should go. Let's look at the first sentence. Wear a apron, goggles. Wear a apron, goggles. Where should my and go? Pause the video and put the and in. Let's go through the answer for the first sentence. Wear a apron, goggles. Here we have two things. We have a apron and we have goggles, and our conjunction and can put those two things together. Where should it go? Can you tell me? Well done. It needs to go between apron and goggles so they can go together. Let's add in our conjunction and. Can you spell it for me? And. Well done. Let's do our second sentence. You should hold your breath, wash your hands. You should hold your breath, wash your hands. Where should our conjunction and go to put those two key tips together? Pause the video and write in where the and should go. Did you write it down? Excellent. Let's go through the answer. You should hold your breath, wash your hands. What is our first key tip in that sentence? We should hold our breath. We need to hold our breath. What's the other key tip? We need to wash your hands. You need to wash your hands. So we have holding our breath and we have washing our hands. And we want to put those two key tips together. So that's where our conjunction and comes in. It helps those two key tips come together. So where should the and go? Well done. The and needs to go between the first tip and the second tip. You should hold your breath. That's my first tip. So that means my conjunction and needs to go after breath. Well done if you got that one right. Let's go to our last sentence. You must follow the steps in order. Tie your hair up. You must follow the steps in order. Tie your hair up. Pause the video and write in where our conjunction and should go for those two key tips. Did you write in our conjunction and? Well done. Can you help me? Okay, you must follow the steps in order. That's my first key tip, following the steps in order. Tie your hair up. That's my other key tip. So I've got two key tips here, but I want them together in my sentence. So I need to add my conjunction and to put those two key tips together. So first I need to spot my first key tip. Follow the steps in order. Then I need to put in my conjunction and. So then my other key tip, tie your hair up, can go at the end. So I'm going to add my conjunction and after order because that is my first key tip. Well done for getting that one correct. Today we're writing our key tip. So let's go over our actions and our words for our key tip using our story map. Ready with our capital letter? Oh, I can't see everybody's capital letters. We ready? Remember, you must have clean hands and follow the steps in order. Well done. Well done for remembering our conjunction and for our key tip and remembering our colon because we use colons when we have a list underneath. We are innovating this week, which means we are changing things in our instruction. This week, we are going to innovate, so change, remember. At the start, we have remember and then our colon. Instead, we are going to pick something else. Here I have some examples. Don't forget, a helpful reminder, keep in mind. So you need to think of something that you could say for your key tip. You want to make sure the person is not forgetting, that they know this is a really helpful reminder that will help them make that disgusting smoothie. And don't forget, you need to have your colon at the end, which is 2 dots. One should be on the line and one should be floating on top. So here, I would like you to write down some that you think you could use in your writing today. Why not write at least 2? Could you write at least 2 different ideas? Pause the video and write it down now. Have you written at least 2 down? Well done. Can you tell me one of your ideas? Excellent. Remember, our key tip is really important. Key tips are using instructions to help somebody make that disgusting smoothie. People don't make disgusting smoothies all the time, so they need help, especially Mrs. Twit, to make it as disgusting as possible. And you don't want them to miss that off at the bottom, so you need to put something to catch their attention. Don't forget, keep in mind, a helpful reminder. You need to make sure they remember this key tip. Exciting part where we get to innovate our key tips. So we're changing our key tips. Last week you changed your key tips, but this week we have to change them again. This time we're making a smoothie, so your key tips could be slightly different. Don't have the same key tips from last week, make them different. Now, last week I saw some people write even more than 2 key tips. So if you want a super duper challenge, then you can write more than 2 if you have lots of great creative ideas, which I know you do. Here are some of my ideas for key tips. Look under gigantic rocks to find the most deadly creatures. You must wear protective clothing. Hold your breath when grating the old mouldy cheese. So have a think. What key tips are you going to give Mrs. Twit? She is making that disgusting smoothie for Mr. Twit. So what could she do to help her make that disgusting smoothie? You could think of, rather than washing your hands, maybe she shouldn't wash her hands so all the germs get on to the ingredients she's putting in. Maybe she shouldn't tie her hair up so then all her hair can also fall into the smoothie. Maybe she shouldn't wear an apron so any dirt can go on to the smoothie as well. So have a think of all those ideas you can give Mrs. Twit to make her disgusting smoothie. I want you to write at least 3 key tips. So get your piece of paper and write down at least 3 key tips. Pause the video now. Off you go. Have you written at least 3? Well done. Can you tell me one of your key tips? Really good. That will help Mrs. Twit a lot. Well done. Now it's my turn to write. So Miss Bainey is going to write her key tips. So I'm going to use my story map to help me. I am not using the word remember for my key tip. I'm going to pick something else, and I'm not going to have to wash my hands. I want to make sure they're dirty, so I wouldn't have that. I could still have follow the steps in order, because that'll be really important for Mrs. Twit. She doesn't want to turn on her blender and press the button before she's put any ingredients in. So that's still a good tip for Mrs. Twit if you want to include that. After I have written my key tip, I'm going to use my writing checklist to help me. I'm going to make sure I have capital letters, full stops, finger spaces. I'm also going to make sure I have my colon. I'm also going to make sure I've written it on the line. I'm going to take a lot of pride in my handwriting while I write my key tip. This is right at the end of your beautiful piece of instructions. So don't rush them. Make sure you take your time, because after you have finished, you will have a full set of instructions ready to give Mrs. Twit. So make sure you are taking your time with your writing today and making sure you focus on your handwriting and using your writing checklist. Now, this is the really exciting part where we get to innovate our key tips. So this is time for all your creative writing to come and blub, blub, blub. So today we are going to write our key tip. We have finished off our methods and now we get to write our key tip underneath. If you don't have space, you can get your next piece of paper and start writing there, or if you have some space at the bottom, you can carry on writing. So today in the lesson, I wrote down some of my ideas. I have my ideas for what I could change for the start. So rather than remember, I could pick don't forget, a helpful reminder, and then I have some ideas for my key tip here. So first I need to look at what am I going to do to change the start. So rather than saying remember, what else could I pick? I am going to put a helpful reminder. I'm going to get my pencil, and I'm going to miss a line to make sure my work isn't all scrunched up together and looks nice and clear and nice and neat, ready for Mrs. Twit to use. I'm going to miss a line and write on the next line here. So I'm going to write A, make sure I've got a capital A, a helpful reminder. Make sure you got your colon at the end to start your list. Remember, you want to have 2 key tips. You need to start this off with a capital letter. So I'm going to go into the next line to write my key tip. I'm going to say a helpful reminder. I'm going to look at my ideas. I'm going to say to hold your breath, because the ingredients we have included are very smelly and gross. So I'm going to say a helpful reminder. Hold, capital letter, hold your breath. Then I'm going to use my conjunction and to put my 2 key tips together. Hold your breath, and what else should I do? So I've got hold my breath. I think it's really important to wear protective gloves, because you don't want to be touching any of those disgusting ingredients. Hold your breath and wear protective gloves. Then full stop at the end. Let's read that all together.
A helpful reminder, hold your breath and wear protective gloves. I've got my capital letter at the start here, and for my sentence, I've included a full stop at the end, and my colon, I have got finger spaces, and I have written on the line. So once you have done this, you should have a complete set of instructions. So you should have your title, your hook, your what you will need, your methods, all the way to step number 8, and your helpful reminder. And now this is ready for Mrs. Twit to make her disgusting smoothie.
Now it's your turn to write, so you can use our story map to help you, making sure you change, you innovate the start of your key tip, and then you think of your own 2 key tips. And if you really want to challenge yourself, you can write more than 2. Just make sure you have your conjunction and to put those key tips together, and then use your writing checklist to go through your key tip, making sure you have capital letters, full stops, finger spaces, you've got a colon at the start, you've written on the line, and you're really taking pride in your handwriting. Once you've finished that, you can read your instructions all the way from the beginning, from Monday, your hook, to the end, reading it to make sure it's ready for Mrs. Twit to make her disgusting smoothie for Mr. Twit. I can't wait to see your work on Seesaw later. Good luck.